Hey guys, welcome to Splatoon Saturday, your weekly source for all the latest on Splatoon.
AMIIBO!
Good morning, everyone. It's a Monday morning, not a Saturday morning, because this is indeed Splatoon Saturday plus another additional episode to the original Splatoon Saturday this week. This is part 2 of an analysis of the single-player trailer for Splatoon 2. If you haven't seen part 1, please go click on the video. It should be in the tab on the right. And I'll leave a link in a comment below if you want to click on that if you haven't seen part 1 yet. Yeah, without further ado, let's do a scene-by-scene analysis of all the stuff that's going on in the actual single-player gameplay footage. The first scene introduces us to the brand new Inkling who's involved in this single-player story mode. It's not a new Inkling, it's you, of course, but they get some new gear, namely new shoes, headgear, a special gun, and a jacket. We'll talk more about the gun in a second, of course, that's very important. But these shoes, they look like they belong to some extreme sport, and the best we could come up with was that they were ski shoes. So we'll just move on from there. So this gun is manufactured by Sheldon, as you can see his logo on it, and it's realistic. It's modeled after the P90, an in-real-life gun. Is it the first realistic gun in Splatoon? Well, actually, we found out it's not. We looked at all the guns, and all of them have some weird pun or associated toy or something like that to make them, you know, not serious. So it's okay for kids, but this one's just a straight-up gun. But we also found one more. The Splatling in the original Splatoon 1 is realistic, unlike any of the other weapons. But it at least has a clear orange tip. In fact, one of the biggest orange tips of all of them. It's really advertising the fact that it's not a real Gatling gun that's going to shoot bullets and kill you. But this gun right here has nothing to warn you that it's just going to shoot ink. So it's a little bit strange, and I have a feeling it'll be really important and tie into the story. The first enemy shown is basically the classic Octarian guy on top of one of those mobility scooters, I guess. But he's got a balloon this time. The entire theme of this stage is sort of tropical, including the music that's playing in the background, and it's based over this beautiful water. This scene is also hiding something very important. The Inkling has changed clothes. They just showed off what the outfit is going to look like in the single player, and in the next scene decided to change it completely. The Inkling has this sort of hat on that seems to be covering up the original electronic earmuffs that they got going on, and a totally different jumper as well. The shoes are the same though. I looked all around the entire rest of the trailer, and this outfit is not seen again. In fact, the Inkling stays with the original outfit in every other scene. So I reckon this is just what it looks like when you pick up a piece of armor.
Did you know Everything Amiibo streams daily on Twitch?
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. The gun that they showed off at the beginning of the trailer is actually different to the gun that's played with in the entire rest of the gameplay. If you look closely, the first gun actually has a scope and a stock, or at least some sort of upgraded scope and stock. Whereas the gun after has no stock whatsoever, pretty much, and just the standard iron sights. So there's definitely some sort of customization or upgrade system in play, and to me, that's really exciting, because we've never been able to touch anything these guns can do. In fact, that's a little bit of a lie. You can upgrade your gun in the single player in Splatoon 1, but it doesn't physically upgrade it. It doesn't look any different, and it doesn't function any different. It just gets better. You know, it fires faster, I think was the difference, and one of the other upgrades is maybe you can store more ink, but none of them actually change the core functions of the gun. Whereas this could be giving your gun a scope that you could maybe like zoom in and look down, even though it's not a sniper rifle. It could be for the stock giving you much more accuracy. So many opportunities. There could be an extended magazine customization. It's a pretty exciting discovery, and I do hope it's pretty fleshed out. And I know this one's grasping at straws, but it would be cool to have customization in the multiplayer too. Some new bouncy pads are shown off, and it looks like you auto bounce and then hold down a button to bounce higher. This will help you get over some new walls. There used to be moving walls, but you could go as a squid to get through them, but now you have to bounce up and over these walls. The next scene has boost jump pads and drains that overflow with ink to block your path. The scene is of course no longer set in this tropical themed nice sunny area. In fact, it looks like items are hanging in zero gravity, so this might be a space themed thing. Now, later on, we see a couple more themes with kind of strongly knit together objects and enemies that really go with these themes, and in my opinion, these are just worlds. A lot closer to Super Mario Worlds in Splatoon 2, where the settings and everything are very thematically tied together. So I think that's what they're doing in this, rather than it all being kind of in roughly the same derelict Octarian place. Looks like our objective for each single player level is the same, getting a Zapfish. There are some new grind rails that let you shoot while you're grinding on them, rather than being in squid form to use them. Also, rather than these being fully created when you shoot the source, these actually create as you move along the rail. You can do flips on these rails too. The shielded Octarians have a brand new design. Looks like they're a little bit more high-tech. Maybe that'll tie into the story. There's a new Party Blowers environment tool that when it rolls over enemies kills them, and when you leave it for too long, presumably, it will roll back, just like a Party Blower. There's a new enemy that hides inside a bowling ball and is shot out of dispensers. Another new enemy sits on a chair and barfs up dynamite. Yet another new enemy is basically a giant blimp that has his own hanger that launches him out. There are actually a couple of Octarians on the side of this thing being held up by balloons. Seems physically impossible. There are some new bullet bill type enemies, and they get shot out en masse from this contraption. There's a new Gatling gun enemy, and some of the new specials at least are available in single player mode. Looks like Sheldon has invested in some very modern technology. He now has a drone that delivers you weapons at spawn points, mind you. Although, is every checkpoint going to be a spawn point? We're not sure yet. We haven't seen checkpoints. There's a new hook environment interaction item, I guess, but we're really not sure what it does. Maybe you can activate it in a sort of grappling hook style like in Metroid Prime. The Octolings have been redesigned slightly, and now they can use rollers. What is that weird shield thing? Looks like you need to collect multiple Zapfish in this level. Here's a new block enemy. Or, wait, it kinda looks like an old boss, but it's being controlled by an Octarian. Weird.
This video is sponsored by Everything AMIIBO. Subscribe by clicking the button below.
There are two new bosses shown off, one of which is based on an oven and has bread popping out of it with Octarians inside. Ugh. One boss is huge, and he rides on a mini unicycle and has a giant roller. Last, but most definitely not least, there's a poster for this Splatoon 2 single player shown off, and there's a couple of mysteries. We went through all of this stuff in it and identified everything as something we've already talked about, except for these two things. Well, three things, technically. There's some mysterious black flame-looking enemies with eyes, maybe, and we're really not sure what that's a part of. Also, in the top left, there's a roller-type gadget. It looks like maybe an enemy with a roller for its hair or head. I don't know. We don't know what that one's about either. And of course, most importantly, there's an evil squid laugh right at the end of the trailer, and we see on top a silhouette that looks pretty obviously like Callie. So Callie is evil, confirmed. I told you guys. There's also two tentacles. We really couldn't figure out what these mean. The one on the left is like a weak spot, and the other one's just a generic Octarian tentacle. But maybe this is actually something that Callie has growing out of her. Like maybe when she's a boss and you have to fight her, her left tentacle is her weak spot. And she has these massive tentacles for whatever reason. Probably not, but that's the only thing I can think of. Oh wait, duh, I just realized something it might be. TJ Octavio. Alright, wow, it's been a weekend and a half, guys. I've been busting my butt to make these Splatoon Saturdays, so thank you so much for all of you, like, over 10,000 people showing up and giving these record views. I really do appreciate that. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, make sure you leave a like, and of course subscribe to Everything Amiibo for more on Splatoon 2 and for more Nintendo toys and games. I'll see you guys next Saturday.